Good day for everybody. In this occasion, we would like to introduce a great being called Marcus Witte. He's a German guy, electrical engineer. He is following the path of fasting, and we would like to interview him about all his experience in 12 years. I think it's 12 years of in this path. Okay, Marcus Witte has written a book about a life without eating. It's a very interesting book that everybody should read. So all the information that you will find there is about his observations in life through all the process he followed in each day in his time of fasting. Okay, so well, I'm going to introduce Marcus. Welcome, um, welcome to this video, this channel, and
Hi, Beatrice. Thank you for the invitation.
yes, okay, Marcus. So we are going to start. The first thing I would like to talk is about um, the book you make. Can you talk a little bit about your book? This is important because this book will be the guide for many people to follow after this video and talk a little bit how you made it and how was
Um,
your experience.
okay, we can start with the book that actually was born because I was always repeating always the same questions. So a friend of mine, a Spanish guy, he lived in Colombia, invited me. Let's take notes of your thoughts, and he was doing questions about what he still was not clear about the fasting, about life and everything. That's actually now written. It's like a conversation. He's asking me, I'm answering. That's the main questions what everybody has in his mind. Why we eating? Why children eat? Why breastfeeding? Why uh, everything else? Also about a big part illness or sickness. What does it mean? Also, a little small view about the matrix, about our manipulation, and of course, a small part as well as a view in the future, and also a start with myself, how everything started in my life to get clear what's about food, what's about dependency on food and money and love. That's our three, I would say, is change, not the change of money. That's what you put on your handcuff. That's what you hold you tied on. Because you search for love, you search for money, and you search for food your whole life. And when you are searching for something, or when you are in a dependency of something, then there's no freedom. So I only was in my starting of fasting, I was searching more or less freedom because when you're hungry, then we're pushed into something to do something or to search something to look for money to get your food and everything else. Then you have no freedom. There's no freedom in it. So this was actually my first beginning. Now it's 14 years ago. In 2010, I started with the very famous process, the 24th day by Yasmin. But after that, I found out with a process I can't switch on or switch off eating. It is impossible. And now, after a lot of years of experiencing my body as a laboratory to see how it works. They tell me something of nutrition, and but I can see in my body there's no nutrition because I go to the bathroom and I leave everything over there what I first were putting in my mouth. So it makes no sense. So step by step, I found a lot of things mm, that's not fit to that what I can see with my body. So therefore, then a lot of people were asking me how it is and how works that and that. So I started first with some seminars, and to explain nutrition is a myth. So simple as it. Then by certain observations, that's also very important. To get back to be an observer, because you were born as an observer as a child. You always observe because by observation you learn to speak and you learn to walk. So there's no ego necessity in you to have an ego to learn something. So when you observe, then it's in a position of no neutral position. Because normally when you're analyzing, then you have an idea in your mind, and then you're comparing this idea and that. That's not observate. That's not a observating. So that's analyzing. So you have to go back to be an observer. It's very, 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 very important because then you can see much more clear. Otherwise, you will always defend or search for an answer. The, you see something over there, and then you want to you look to justify what you see. For example, you're hungry, and then you observe, my body is searching for substances. But when you really observe what means hunger, hunger means nothing else. That's symptoms of abstinence, nothing else. That when your body starts to heal himself, then you have certain sensations, and these sensations you call that your body needs food, but in the end, he do not need food. But it's this sensation. When you are in a neutral position observation, then you can see it. But when you have an idea of nutrition in your mind, then you will always justify nutrition, but there is no nutrition. Okay, then let's go back to the book. So also I push in the book some views in the future, how I'd like to see the future, how is actual liberty for humanity, because we are now in a matrix system, and this matrix system forces us to believe food is needed. But it's a big lie. It's the biggest lie you can ever see in humanity. There's no food needed. Food is something to play, but not to have a dependency or what people right now are. They are addicts. So it's a small overview.
Yeah, and I think that part of the manipulation is to force you to work. You have to work to make money, to buy food, to eat, and then it's like a
It's like vicious circle. Yeah,
yes.
you are tied in. You're tied in this circle. When you are an addict, first you have to understand you are an addict. An addict is always uh, driven to do something to get his drug, and then your drug is your food, and then but you think it's nutrition, but there's no nutrition. That's the big lie. Therefore, you are forced to do something what you don't like. For example, work. Nobody likes to work.
Mm-hmm.
You like to do service or to help others, but not to work. Work is something you are forced to do, and therefore you that's actually the vicious circle. You're forced to do something what you do not like to do, and that causes anxiety, and to calm down anxiety you need food, and then you're an addict, and then you're in a vicious circle, completely trapped in. That's it's very terrible when you can see it from outside, but the whole manipulation. So when you're an addict, it will never ever be free.
Yeah,
That's the point.
after that then because you continue with the addiction of eating and anxiety, and then you get sick, and this is another manipulation of the system, that you had to pay money for to get healed. and clinics and health is very expensive, and you had to pay insurance, and it's like a lot of things. And you had to work because you need to pay a lot of these things. So at the end, it's a big,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's a big life. There's also all the issue about illness or sickness. Um, uh, it's also a big lie because when you understand um, when you're ill, it's nothing like intoxication. So what you need is detox.
mhm,
So illness is nothing else than detox, and nothing more. You intox, you get sick because your body is gets stuck of toxins, so you need a detox, and that's it. It's very simple. You do not need actually medicine nowadays. It's obsolete. It's actually but it's a business. It's sad. It's a business, and when there's a lot of money involved, so where a lot of money is involved, there's a big lie always close by.
yeah. Okay, so to get to this um, wisdom that you had to pass through an observation process. So how did you start, or how did you do this observation? How, because when we are in the matrix and very busy and, you know, surviving in this world, then to have a time for to observe is not like a common, that we had too much time. So how did you do this process of transition between the matrix and then get out, or not, I will say not get out, that understand and move, like
Yeah.
liberate, you know, get,
Yeah, but, the path to liberation. So the path of liberation is first to understand who you are not,
yes,
and who you are not is the personality, the ego. So the ego is actually the jailer of your soul. When you have understood this, then everything what you do by your ego is senseless. Makes no sense. It's only a sense for somebody else to keep you in a stage of keeping under control your soul. Because they are not two. Inside is your soul, and outside you manifestate your ego personality. But this ego personality is always orientated outside, and outside is illusion, and ego is illusion. The illusion doing something in the illusion. What sense makes it? No sense. And everybody is telling me I have to get consciousness. Your consciousness already. You're full consciousness with your soul. But this consciousness can't manifest themselves or itself because you, by your ego control, you want to go something. So everything what you do, even spiritually, makes no sense because ego is the jailer of your soul. So let do nothing. That's actually the key. Do nothing. And that's actually the most difficult part because you're programmed to do. When you stop doing, then it's, oh, I'm useless. I have to do because your parents may only have told you, do something, don't be vague, study or whatever. Do. Always was do. But actually, by doing nothing, everything is done. It comes from Lao Tzu, from Tao Te Ching, I think.
okay,
That's the true wisdom.
mhm,
And you were talking about my wisdom. It's not my wisdom. It's actually the wisdom of every soul. Everybody could access this knowledge when he would look inside. But the matrix is designed that you get all your distractions outside. So your eyes, your mind, your thoughts, your ego is always outside. And meanwhile, you're looking outside. Then you maintain alive the jailer of your soul. Very easy. Everybody knows inside is my wisdom, but nobody looks inside. So,
yeah, exactly. We have been trained to be like that, to look
yeah,
outside.
we were trained to be ignorant. I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, in the process of changing um this way to live, we start with intermittent fasting. This is what you recommend to start.
Okay. How? Because of course, nobody will leave food right now, even when I'm telling you you're an addict. But first of all, you have to understand why you eat. First, because you were taught to eat, your parents were telling you nutrition in the school and everything else. So you think it's your belief system or your belief pattern. I have to eat. That's in your subconscious mind. So first, by believing. Second, your body is used to the drug. So when you take off the drug, then you're feeling hunger. In it's the symptoms of abstinence. And third, and that's the most important part, it's emotionally. Because by anxiety, you need a drug, because otherwise you will get crazy. So it's a relation, emotionally food with searching for love and the relation family and everything else. This emotional part um, of food is very, very important. And when you do not have got clear in your mind what's about food in this aspect, then you'll be stuck. So there is no possibility to do a process to leave food. Would be very, very grateful, because any addiction you can be resolved by process. But we have seen or everybody can see there's no possibility to resolve uh, an addiction by process. So always we have to understand cause effect, cause effect. So mm, therefore, it's very important. The effect of food is because anxiety, and anxiety is the cause because you're living a life that's not yours, and so on. It's a very important part. So it's the three parts why you eat. So what can I do? What I should do? Now you know you're an addict and you're stuck in matrix. What I should do? Then you start first with intermediate fasting. That means there's a certain window. Yeah, you start normally by 8:16, it calls, because the day has 24 hours. So 8 hours in the time. Let's say starting from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the evening, 8 hours. From 4 o'clock in the evening to the next day in the morning, 8 o'clock, there are 16 hours. And in these 16 hours, you do not eat, and even better, you do not drink. In 8 hours, drink and eat whatever you want. But 16 hours, you give your body a rest. And this rest is very, very important. I can't remember the Japanese guy, he won the Nobel Prize 2016 by the investigation of
Water.
no, it's investigation of no, it's somebody else, but it's autophagy in Spanish, but I don't know the word in
English.
English right now. Um, and that's actually when you enter in fasting, your body is starting to healing itself and also to get younger. That's very interesting um, investigations. Also, breast cancer as well as diabetes too is very easy to control only by intermediate fasting. Um, that's actually what we should start. That's 8:16, and then of course by feeling better and better, close the window. That means 7:17, 6:18, and so on and so forth. So still you eat once a day. Eat once a day and drink once a day. And then when you eat less and less, you get used to less and less in your body, and will feel even greater, um, much lighter, more, much more, with much more energy, much more power. You can be much more active with much more activity than you were used to do. You more or less you understand what I'm telling about. So because as before I mentioned, illness is normally intoxication. So when you start intermediate fasting, you start to clean your body, and then therefore by cleaning your body, you get much more healthier. Obvious. That's actually the big deal in that. And so therefore, medicine is actually obsolete when you do fasting. It's the cheapest and the most effective medicine is fasting.
Yeah, and also understand that if you feel sick when you are doing your fasting, it's because the detoxing of the body is making you feel maybe weak, but it's the process of removing all the toxins and poisons you have in your body, and you don't have to stop the symptoms. Allow it because it is necessary. It's,
Therefore, you can. That's a nice point you're mentioning. When you're in fasting, hunger starts. Hunger is cleaning your body, but you want to stop it. When you enter with a drug, then you stop. It's actually stimulation because nutrition do not exist. So your body is to used to the stimulation you have given it. When there's stimulation of coffee, then when you stop drinking coffee, then you get certain symptoms of abstinence. And then you need again your stimulation. That is not only coffee or alcohol or the famous drugs, it's also food. The same thing that you can see. And also, in the first days of fasting, feel weak. That means you're sick. But by not feeling the sickness, you take a drug. That's normally your food.
yeah.
That's all. It's very simple and very easy to observe. That's also to repeat it. I don't want that you believe me. It would be the worst because when then you start from one believing to another believing. Then you're
True.
only switching. Then you're still tied in. You have to make your own experience, and then that your own experience gives you real freedom, makes you free.
Yeah.
Therefore, actually, sorry that I interrupt you. Therefore, actually, we do or I offer retreats. The retreats I offer is actually only a tool that you can experience by yourself what's happening in my body. Because a lot of people do fasting and do a lot of because they do fasting with liquid as well dry fasting. That means no liquid, at least 4 days, no food, no liquid. That you experience what's really happening, and then after this more or less this 1 week, that you get rid of the idea of nutrition. That's what I mentioned before. When you believe you need food, then you will need food. It's in your program. So by this retreat, you erase or delete actually the idea of nutrition.
Great.
Sorry, was
So,
a little bit too long.
but no, it's wonderful. So, when you do these retreats of fasting, but it's total fasting, it's a complete fasting, no food.
Dry fasting, dry fasting, dry fast. Every fast is always without food, but in this case, we do also dry fasting. This means actually it's on 8 days. The first 2 days only once a day a cup of water or tea. And then in between 4 days dry fasting, no liquid, no food, and then we get out softly with 2 days of liquid. But food in the end is no big deal in these retreats because we do also fasting by words. That means silence, and also fasting by activity. So we do nothing. And you can imagine what is the worst part of it for the most people is doing nothing.
Okay.
because you are so programmed as like a robot, acting like a robot, that you do not know that you're a robot. So the retreat also helps you to understand what I'm doing. I'm thinking of doing something, but there's no need to do it. That's very, very important to get to the cause and the source of every of all your problems. Because by by fasting and doing nothing and only observe, observing, you get to the cause of your problem. And your problem is mainly you're searching for love, and you do not live the life that's actually yours. You live a life of others that causes anxiety, and therefore you're stuck.
Okay. So when somebody would wants to go to these retreats of zero food and do you recommend that they do first the uh, the intermittent fasting, or they can go directly from?
Of course, they can start immediately, but of course, I would recommend at least a preparation of 14 days before. Because when you're, for example, you have a normal life, 3 times a day you're eating, beside that, then you take some pills or whatever, then you're actually over intoxicated. And from one day to another one, you stop any uh, any what do you say? You stop eating, stop anything to do nothing, and in this case, your body starts to detox, and this detox from no preparation, it's very very hard. It's not that there's no danger, but it's you can imagine like any other addict um, addict when he is in his phase of cleaning his body. Normally they get tied up on a bed because the detox is so hard with the body. So you should start soft. Of course, the perfect way would be when you understood foods. Therefore, I recommend read the book. It's also free of charge by PDF, and but you can order it as well. And there, the main explanations about food is also written. I also make a lot of reference to other doctors and um, and also a lot of technical explanations and physical explanations that you can understand. Food is or nutrition is a myth, and your body do not need nothing. And this is would be a companionship, and then also in the end you have to do your own experience there for the retreat. So 40 days before, you should stop at least no medication. You still should stop at least avoid meat, any lactans products, and also sugar. That you can body starts to detox at least of these products. That you do not get an impact so hard. The impact is very very hard for somebody who is. You can do it right now. Do only a 24 hours dry fast. You will see you do not last 12 hours. Then you can see how strong is your addiction. That's the first point. Then you can see, oh, then it's your decision. You can say, okay, I want to get free of the addiction, because with an addiction, there's no freedom. That's the first step, to get complete comprehension of it. What does it mean to be an addict? What does it mean food? And what is really nutrition? Really nutrition is in your respiration, your breath. That means everything what your body needs is by respiration. So there's nothing else. And respiration is free of your will. You breathe even by sleeping.
Good. So when a person decides to do this 8 days retreat,
It's
when this retreat finishes, what I imagine there is a transformation, because these 8 days is are very It's a like a your consciousness of what you are doing, everything. I think you when you finish, you are another person. You are
Of
another
course, yeah, I can observe of all participants. The most of them they won't go. Actually, they say I don't want to go back
person.
because they feel actually in balance with themselves, but they know okay, I have to go to the my normal life again, and actually I don't want to go back. That's always, but in the end you get clear that you do not want to go back. But then it's your decision. I do not force nobody, and everybody is free to do what he wants. But as I have observed, the most do not want to go back. They only go back mainly because of family, of attachments emotionally to family, to their partner, or to their illusionary world. So, but there is always a before and a after. So before everybody is thinking a lot, and after, oh, then they see clear what's wrong with them. What's wrong? It's actually a bad word for it. What's actually where I get trapped, or where I'm actually in my in a way, or in my path of that end. There's no future in my path that you will see, because everything what you do makes no sense when you have a brighter perspective of it. Therefore, silence, doing nothing, and fasting. It's three parts, very powerful parts.
Yeah. And well, and I think it's a radical, stage in your life that when you are, the majority of the people that go to these events is because they feel a meaningless life, or they feel something that is not right. So once you get and you have this knowledge and this wisdom, then you are going to make many changes in your life, because you don't like the way you are living right now. So if you are this person that it's time for you for a radical change in your life and see another path that is unknown, that is, you can see that there are other people that already are walking this path, and they have been transformed, and they feel great and healthy and free. So we invite you to this retreat with Marcus of fasting, 8 days fasting. We are going to do in United States two retreats, one in Texas and one in Washington State. I am going to be the coordinator in Washington State, and I will give you all my information. It's going to be at the end of July. All the details are going to be at the end of this video. And Marcus is going to be with us all of these days to guide us through the process with all his experience and his wisdom, to tell us and give us knowledge so we can do this um, challenge and really change. So I really recommend to read the book and to go to this retreat. It will be only once in this year. I hope next year you can come more time.
Let's see how's the feedback. I mean, there's a lot of resonance, and a lot of demand. Of course, then I can come back. That's no big deal. Because now I'm in Spain, in Europe. So um, meanwhile, the world is more or less transitable. That means I can fly, and everything is okay. But let's see. Do not waste your time when you want to get free, and when you want to get a little bit more clearer about your addictions. Then join in.
And this is a big step of higher, and to continue your um, journey to expand your consciousness, your knowledge, your wisdom in this life. So, well, Marcus, I appreciate your time. Um, and I will be in contact with you for another videos in English so we can
Yeah.
talk people, we can give information to all these people in the United States. And well, I will be in contact with you for further. Uh,
Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for the possibility to share with everybody in English.
yes, well, you will see at the end of the video all the information. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a great life and a great day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.